Hey, this is Viola Rose, and I'm a facilitator for Drunvalo Melchizedek's School of Remembering, and I facilitate Awakening the Illuminated Heart workshops, which I have done for the past 11 years now, and I've taught about 100 of these 4-day intensives to people all over the world. And every time I go through the workshop, there's a couple pieces that I'm just always like, I want everyone to know this piece of information. And so I'm coming on here today to share a piece of this workshop with you that I think is incredibly valuable, that will benefit anyone, I think, who hears this. And it is talking about the difference of creating from the brain as opposed to creating from the heart. So we've got this brain, and it's a dualistic organ. It is a perfect tool for this dualistic realm of the third dimension that we find ourselves inhabiting at this time, right? So there's a lot of polarity and a lot of duality in the third dimension. And well, we've got this brain, which has a left side and a right side, has a masculine side and a feminine side, and they're separated by the corpus callosum. So it's a very dualistic organ, and it's a great tool and task doer for living in this world. It's never meant to be running the show, right? It's supposed to be a servant to the heart and only perceive according to the wishes of the heart. But of course, things went a little awry in our realm, and the ego has taken over. And so the brain has also taken over and kind of runs the show. And also, from our schooling and the indoctrination of our society, we're taught to live in the mind, live in the brain, and get out of the heart, get out of the creativity, get out of the imagination, and think and be logical, right? Logic is really puts a lot of value on a person, whether they think logically or not. If you don't think logically, you're considered insane. So logic is really important in this world. And so people are living their whole lives in their mind. And by doing so, by default, are creating reality from their mind. So they're creating reality from duality, because the mind is based in duality. So whether you think that you're consciously creating your reality that you're living in, or if you're just doing it by default, by just vibrating where you're at, and then that drawing experiences to you, either way, if you're doing that from your mind, whether consciously or unconsciously, you're going to create a reality based upon duality. So let's say you're trying to consciously create something, like, I really want to create a healing center. So you're going to start to try to manifest this healing center. And if you do it from the mind, which is like visioning it, vision boards. I mean, you can make vision boards from the heart too, but I'm just kind of giving you an example of like really trying to think something into manifestation. So you may actually get it to work if you use your attention and your intention, and you focus all of your bodies, your physical body, your emotional body, and your mental body on that thing that you're trying to manifest. You will manifest it if done properly. However, because you're creating it from the duality of the mind, you'll get exactly what you're trying to create. And you're like, wow, okay, this works pretty good. I'm a good manifester. I'm going to keep using this method of manifestation because it's working. But the thing that people don't always realize is that because you're creating from duality, you're going to create exactly what you want, but you're also going to create exactly what you don't want. You're going to create the opposite, because that's duality. So putting a creation into duality, you will get both. And so people will go through their whole lives and not even realize this piece. So they think that the thing they're manifesting is great, and they don't necessarily even put it together that this negative thing that is also happening is a direct result of that. So life becomes like a roller coaster and the ups and the downs, and then this great thing happens, and then you crash your car, and then like it goes like this constantly. That's the nature of creating from the brain. And so that way of creating is tricky because it works, and we don't necessarily see how much it messes us up. So let's talk about creating from the heart, the unity of the heart. So there's the sacred space and the tiny space of the heart. Now, Drunvalo has a book called Living in the Heart, and it's all about how to get into these sacred spaces within ourselves that are connected to the unified field and connected to unity consciousness and our very sacred temple inside. So when we truly get into our sacred space and our tiny space within that, inside the heart, and we create from there, now we're creating from unity consciousness, from oneness consciousness. We're creating from love. There is no duality in the heart. We might be in our mind and think that we're in our heart, because there could be love. I'm like, I'm feeling love. I must be in my heart. It's not always the case, because there can be love of the mind, and it's love based in duality, which would mean there's love and some doubt, love and some judgment, love and some fear. And so that can also trick us up. When we're truly in the heart and we're creating from this love, life ends up like more of a river of grace instead of a roller coaster, because we're just creating from unity and creating from love. And also, when we go into our heart, we're only going to want to create things that are loving and kind and do no harm. So it's a great failsafe. If you have something you want to create, take it into your heart and see if it still resonates there. So this is a huge piece. And I think it's worth just sharing, because it can change life. And so there's this book, Living in the Heart by Drunvalo, teaching you how to get into the heart and live from here. So even if you're trying to consciously create in a certain moment or not, nonetheless, if you're anchored and living in your heart, by default, you will be vibrating and creating a reality that is from the unity consciousness of the heart, and not the drama and the duality of the mind. So an amazing book, and a precursor to the workshop, The Awakening the Illuminated Heart, that I facilitate, is one needs to read that book first. In that, you learn how to really live in your heart, not just visit it, once a day in a meditation, but anchor yourself here, set up camp, and then anytime that you find yourself not in your heart throughout the day, you just come back. And the practice becomes returning and returning to the heart. So that way, whenever you are creating consciously or even unconsciously, you're not doing it from duality. So may you be blessed in this third dimensional world and navigate it with tools like this and whatever other ones help us to be so completely in our grace and in our ease, so that we can be in service and helping to uplift this planet. So thanks all for watching. Much love.